Hello and welcome to RwandaTV News. I am Isabel Masozera. Now, top of our program tonight, a two-day joint meeting of local authorities as well as ministries and agencies has been held in Kigali to discuss related issues concerning economic development and security in order to accelerate development and social welfare. In more news, children who were separated from their families during the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi and were reunited are now encouraging others who are yet to be reunited with their relatives not to give up hope. It is a pleasure to have your company. We are coming to you live from our studios here in Kigali, Rwanda. I am Isabel Masozera. Now, a two-day joint meeting of local authorities as well as ministries and agencies has been held here in Kigali, Rwanda to discuss issues related to economic development as well as security in order to accelerate development and social welfare. Sam Kalisa now kicks off our report now.
The meeting brings together mayors and relevant ministries in line with development projects meant to boost citizens' welfare at the local level. This is the first time the meeting has been held since the beginning of the new term of local leaders. Some of these leaders say that the meeting is important and timely because it will help them to exchange views on accelerating the agenda that President Paul Kagame has promised citizens in this 7-year term that ends in 2024.
We are
planning to have constructed 15-kilometer roads in the city of Kigali by the end of this year. Some will even be used during the Chogam, and different modern bridges are under construction, including the Nyabugogo Bridge and another one in Chimichanga.
Our district borders the capital city, and that means a lot in terms of our development. There is a lot we have to achieve by 2024, including water access, electricity, and more in our economy and other sectors. We have a lot to share with our colleagues. Although we haven't achieved all we want to achieve, we've made a good step towards it.
Gicumbi district is a mountainous area where agriculture is carried out on a large scale. So we need better roads and bridges. In agriculture, we faced issues including erosion, although there are measures to help us deal with the issue, but it's not enough. The meeting is expected to put in place strategies that will help in achieving food security, increasing the use of fertilizers, more outreach on farmers and giving them several trainings and more, accelerating water distribution, electricity access, the use of cooking gas and energy-saving stoves, strategies to preserve infrastructure, addressing compensation issues and more, improving the organization and use of industrial zones, establishing joint measures to comply with standards measures, the plan to establish small agro-processing industries and so on, strategies to address the issue of delayed projects that are not implemented because of poor or no clear studies and etc. The Minister of Local Government, Gatabazi Jean-Marie Vianney, noted that this joint meeting is expected to address issues affecting livelihoods of citizens and working together to ensure that the country's economy continues to grow and that opportunities available at the grassroots level are made productive. We will take a close look at human security issues, sanitation and hygiene in general, and other issues related to citizens' standards of living, like the VUP, financial support projects, job creation, and the issue of erosion in our country. The measures that will be taken by various agencies convened here will make implementation easier. It is expected that the National Strategy for Transformation, NST1, also known as the 7-year government program, will achieve all set targets at 100% rate by 2024, including access to electricity, water, and access to various infrastructure and more. Sam Kalisa, Rwanda Television News.
Thank you, Sam. Now, teachers who have received training on the English language courses as part of the British Council program have noted that the knowledge they have gained will help them through their everyday work. This report is courtesy of Olive Ntete.
Teachers who received trainings on English language courses through the Building Learning Foundation programs are from various primary schools in the country. These trainings were conducted using a blended mode. Valerie Amfashije, one of the trained teachers, said this will assist her in providing quality education to students. These trainings will assist me in providing English courses to the students because through it, my knowledge on English increased. These courses helped me to be bold in speaking. Before, it was hard for me to speak freely in English, but during the courses, they always taught us to speak freely, that even if we make mistakes, they will correct us, and that was helpful. And now, I no longer have fear to speak in English. Kasmir Mandareba, one of the trainers who assisted these teachers through the learning process, notes that among the challenges met while conducting the trainings included the online learning mode because most of the teachers were not used to it. He also notes that these trainings were beneficial to the teachers.
It was not easy since, as you can see, it is branded. It was an English course, and because it was online, teachers were also supposed to use the technological tools. So it was not easy because most of them, they didn't have this experience with the technological tools. You can see that they really improved, and you could see that most of them, they can now speak, they can express themselves, and they are getting more familiar with the technological tools now.
The Chief Executive Officer of the British Council, Scott MacDonald, notes that their programs focuses on education as it is the basic foundation of everything.
We think education is the bedrock, the foundation of everything. And if you want to focus your time on building trust, building collaboration, there's no better place to focus on than education. There's no better place to focus on the teachers. They're teaching the youth, they're teaching the future leaders of the world, and that's where we need to focus.
The Chief Executive Officer of the British Council, who is also on an official visit in Rwanda, together with members of the staff of the British Council Rwanda, also visited the Kigali Genocide Memorial at Gisozi and paid tribute to the victims of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi buried at the memorial. Olive Nete, RTV News.
Thank you, Olive. Now, officials of the Muslim community here in Rwanda have noted that properly teaching children how to study the Quran can help them stay away from extremist ideologies. This was brought to light as the competition on cramming the religious book, bringing together participants from 31 countries, was concluded.
On the fourth day of the competition that brought together 54 people from 31 countries including Rwanda, Somalia's Abdiawab Kasim Ahmed topped the competition as the best Quran reader.
I thank to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for everything that I got the first position. I thank to my parents and then also I thank to my teachers and also I thank all Rwanda people. I participated in other competitions, but this is one of the wondrous one.
The Mufti of Rwanda, Sheikh Salim Hitimana, noted that teaching a child Quran at a young age prevents them from being tempted to join terrorist groups. Muslims who understand the Quran become good and productive citizens. So every Muslim should memorize and understand the Quran and also read it constantly, because it is a guide, and that is why we bring such competitions, to remind Muslims the importance of the Quran. Abdiawab Kasim Ahmed from Somalia, who won the top prize in the category of all people, was rewarded 3 million Rwandan francs.
Now, during the 28th commemoration of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi held in Kamonyi district, Ibuka, an organization supporting genocide survivors, urged that the pending Gacaca cases, as well as other cases related to the genocide, to the genocide perpetrated against the Tutsi, should be expedited and that it should be judged transparently. Olive Ntete explores.
On Sunday, residents of Kamonyi district, natives of Kamonyi, and their friends paid tribute to the Tutsi victims of the 1994 genocide, and supported two families in the burial of the recently found bodies of their loved ones who lost their lives in the genocide. When we got there, we found the boy next door who was an Interahamwe, and that guy was my dad's worker at my dad's vehicle, because my dad was a driver. He talked to them about us and they hunted us down, and at that time I didn't even know where to go because I didn't know that place. So the next day they started to run away from the Inkotanyi, and they took us with them, and the sister of the Interahamwe kept on telling them that the Inkotanyi will ask about these orphans because she wanted us to be killed. Arriving in Gitwe, we ran away from them because the Inkotanyi arrived in the morning. We went to hide in the toilet and we closed. Those who wanted to run away, and we stayed there even if we could hear gunshots. And afterwards, we heard someone passing by and we called him. We were rescued, and that is how we survived the genocide.
Turamuhamagara baradutwara nuko nguko twarokotse jenoside.
Egide Nkuranga, the president of Wibuka, notes that although much has been done to bring justice to genocide survivors, including the payment of property looted during the genocide, which is mainly done through the Gacaca courts, he points out that there are a few pending cases and other issues related to properties of genocide survivors that have been pending for a long time, which is due to poor performance of the court staff.
cyane cyane ugasanga n'abantu n'abacitse ku icumu muri jenoside bari bafite imyaka mike.
Especially, you find that it is about genocide survivors, and during the genocide, they were still young and didn't know the importance of their land. And now that they are adults, they find some parts of their land has been sold, and when they try to claim their property, it takes so long, and they find that their trial, which started in 2018 or 16, is still pending because they keep telling people to come back another time. They say that those who are in charge don't do a thing to solve the issue because most of the time they need bribes. This is actually being seen in Gacaca cases, and I think we spoke about the deadline with the governor, and we even did a meeting with Minalok, and we decided when Gacaca cases should end. I don't know why these cases are still pending. This means that something is going wrong.
Alice Kaitesi, the governor of the Southern Province, noted that the completion of genocide-related property cases in this province will generally be done in July this year. We have a goal to end these trials at the end of the 100 days of commemoration. The president of the Supreme Court of Rwanda, Dr. Faustin Nteziryayo, noted that he is going to discuss with concerned authorities all issues that could hinder the process of justice that Rwanda has committed to Rwandans and genocide survivors so that these cases can be solved.
This will be done so that while courts are conducting trials, it should be expedited, and that is our responsibility. I want to tell the president of Ibuka that we are going to follow up on that issue so that those cases, especially about the lands of survivors and also about the issue regarding how courts proceed and how it is not done sooner, so that we can find solutions to it.
According to the Southern Province, 5 out of 8 districts have completed the trials about properties destroyed during the genocide. Currently, there are 417 pending cases. Particularly in Kamonyi, in the 52,376 cases of properties destroyed, only 3 of them are not yet finalized. Olive Nete, RTV News.
Now, some of the children who were separated from their families during the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi and were reunited are now encouraging others who are yet to find their relatives not to give up hope. Precious Kirezi has more.
Ni umubyeyi wanjye, ni inshuti yanjye, ni umuvandimwe wanjye.
Tuyizere is a 28-year-old man who was found by Nyirabahizi Tatiana after his mother was murdered in the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. Tatiana and her sister had gone to look for millet to prepare porridge with, and that is when they ran into Jean de Dieu. When we found the child, he was lying beside the millet, and I instantly got frightened. We were told the RPF had eyes and ears everywhere, and it was hard not to think of this baby as an animal right up until the moment he left, and we took him in. This is the family Tuyizere was raised in for the last 27 years, and when the time came for Tatiana to start a family of her own, she was determined to do so only after Tuyizere's approval. I told Tuyizere I wanted to get married, and after thinking on it for a while, he told me he needs to meet my potential husband first. It was then I decided that I wasn't going to marry a person he did not approve of. Tatiana got married and continued living with Tuyizere. In 2021, Tuyizere, with the help of his friends and the media, went on a quest to find his biological relatives. He yearned to know where he came from.
I wasn't in search of a family to shelter or feed me. I already have that. I just wanted to know how my parents' story ended.
When Tuyizere's aunt looked at his picture in the media, something in her told her he could be her sister's son, and basing on the positive DNA results, her gut wasn't wrong. I was taking a look when I laid eyes on the young man speaking. And when I laid eyes on the young man speaking, I felt distraught. He was identical to one of my other nephews, and I just knew he had to be ours. Tuyizere's adoptive grandmother says that his reunion with the family he was born into has brought her immeasurable joy. I am overjoyed by the fact that my child doesn't feel the isolation that comes with not knowing where he comes from anymore. Tuyizere says getting acquainted with his biological family and unveiling the history of his parents has aided his healing process.
I was able to discover who my family was and the kind of life they led and where they were buried, and that has helped me rebuild my life.
His adoptive family, along with his recently discovered biological one, both agreed that those that haven't reunited with their families yet and have probable cause to believe that they're alive should not lose hope.
I am so grateful for the privilege of your time. Thank you so much for choosing RTV News. I will see you soon.